Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Hearts of Iron 3 with the Total Realism Project mod. So, last episode, I was a complete tit and completely forgot that I need to do voice recording over this shit. So, here I am doing it this time. So, yeah, here we go. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to record the the final completion of the takedown of communist China. Well, I was able to record it, but I wasn't able to record my commentary, so you weren't able to hear my fantastic voice. Um, what we are doing now, of course, is cleanup of Yunnan. We're doing the cleanup of Zaibei, and then later on, the other one, Xinjiang. Um, our our diplomacy or our neutrality isn't low enough for us to declare war on other people, unfortunately. But this offensive, the movement of our troops into these areas is going to take a while. Yunnan's probably going to be our fastest bet, and then Zaibei and Xinjiang are going to take a while. Those are big provinces. They have poor infrastructure. It's going to be very slow movement. We are building our fleets there, as you can see. A few battleships, some heavy cruisers, a couple carriers still being made. Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good. I'm pointing at things and looking at stuff. I don't know what that's all about, but again, this is another post. This is the last post recording, audio recording, because I checked this time. Um, so that's why everything's been a little bit wonky for some reason. I was trying to record stuff and accidentally hit the mute on my microphone as I was recording, because I'm smart like that, or something. Either way, it's nice to have this big chunk of land. Look at that. That is fancy. And when we're all done here, we're going to have even more. It's going to be great. Now, the question is what we're going to do afterwards. We'll see. We'll figure something out. Either way, it's looking pretty damn good. We're probably going to have to work on some infrastructure. We're probably going to have to do all that. But at the moment, let's move all these troops. We'll move them there, I think. Yeah. Because there's no point in them being so flippin' far away. We're not going to need them for that offensive. Yunnan, Zaibei, Xinjiang, they're not going to have a whole lot of troops. So might as well move them back, get them into range of the HQs, get them in range of the Chorus, so that we get those bonuses that give us less supply usage and all that jazz, right? Might as well get all that. Us conquering the rest of China did give us a nice little stockpile of fuel as well, which is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet deal, if you ask me. Either way, from start to finish, it was a great campaign. Like, everything went just perfect. Just perfect. Like, we cut off troops, we cut out everything. We surrounded and destroyed them. Various locations from the initial amphibious landing all the way to the end of communist China. Like, every step was done perfectly, if you ask me. No, but really, it was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed. So, while this is happening, just going over the HQs, it looked like, and moving everything all to where they're supposed to, in range and whatnot. But while this is happening, I do want to make a mention that life is changing a little bit. As I'm sure some of you know, I got divorced a while back. However, things are changing just a tad. I'm getting a little more involved in I'm getting involved with another girl, and that's starting to take up a bit of my time, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I'm gonna try and make sure that the recordings are done still on time and still regular. But however, if it is a little bit late, or if it's coming on, if it came on with no audio, please forgive me. Um, I'm starting to find that there's a little less time in my schedule, or well, a little more. No, I wouldn't say less time. It's just my schedule is a little less consistent, I guess, is the problem. So if a recording comes a little late, um, it's not that I forgot about doing it. It's just that I might have been getting laid. I don't know. It's possible. So that could be the case. Um, so I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try and make sure that it comes as regular as possible. But if it doesn't, then please forgive me. Have a little patience. I'll get it recordings up as quickly as I can. But it's yeah. So that's that. That's the disclaimer. I do appreciate. I really do appreciate the everyone's feedback. Everyone's like the question that I asked a few days ago about the channel update. I got some feedback on that. Uh, Overwhelmingly, I think everyone really wanted a Paradox game, so that's cool. That's really good. So I'm going to be doing Victoria 2. That's the one. Gonna do some Vicky 2. I would like to do some CK2, but unfortunately, I don't have CK2 right now, and yeah, I need to really buckle down and purchase it sometime. But we'll do some Vicky 2 because that one's fun too, and we'll have some fun with that. In the meantime, yeah, until our production is done. Well, we got a lot, as you can see there. We still have a lot of spies out, right? Against like Siam, um, Soviets and whatnot. We still have spies out, but unfortunately, our diplomacy or our neutrality is not dropping. It just isn't. If anyone knows of a better way to drop your neutrality, please let me know because this is brutal. It's been what, 3 years of game time, 4 years of game time. Yeah, 3 years, almost 4 years of game time, and our neutrality has not dropped. It just, well, barely. It is barely dropped, and we're dumping like spies out and all this other stuff. But anyways, as I was saying, until we got our fleet done being manufactured and our air force done being manufactured, there's not a whole lot we can do. Like we can't dump any into infrastructure or production infrastructure or increasing our uh, increasing our industrial capacity. We're gonna have to wait until that's all done. Conquering, of course, is gonna increase it like a small little bit, but not a whole lot. But like for example, Gangxi Click right there would be really nice to be able to kill, but we can't even declare war on them, right? Siam is another one. It'd be really nice to take out, but we can't even declare war on them. So it really makes it not as fun if you can't, go after people and expand quickly because of some arbitrarily stupid mechanic. I might, if it gets too bad, I might just hit that no neutrality thing because you can actually open up the console command and go no neutrality and boop, 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 and then you're good, right? Then you can declare war on anyone. I might just do that, but we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens with that. Either way, we got a lot of land to go through. Like Tibet is another one, for example. I will want to get right. Tibet. Uh, well, we got Zaibei and Sinking are going to be ours once our troops can get up there, right? So we're going to get those. But I would love to get Gangxi, and I'd love to get Tibet, but the rest of the Asian area there. But it's really hard to do it when your neutrality is keeping you back. So that's that. regardless, I'm pretty happy with how things have been going so far. Like, we have done a lot since the beginning of the, well, we've grabbed a huge amount of land since the beginning of the game, right? And that is nice. That is very nice. And that campaign against communist China was, like, as I was saying before, it was just quick. It was like to the point. I we cut off those troops and circled them and took them out, and it was very good, very very good. So I was pretty happy about that. Pretty damn happy, if you ask me. Make sure our tech is up to spec. Get some tech up to spec because we have the extra room. Might as well spec them up. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about the Vicky 2 campaign. I find that I actually enjoy Victoria 2 better than Europa Universalis 4. I don't know if it's because I did too much Europa Universalis. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what it is, but I find that Europa is too much RNG for my taste. It's kind of like I feel like whenever I play Europa, I have to min-max it so much in order to compete with like France or whatever. And I feel like I'm constantly just I feel when I play Europa, I feel like I have to move quickly. I have to move. I have to go, expand, expand, expand. I gotta constantly be pushing my nation to the limit all the time. And although that isn't bad, the nice thing I like about Victoria is the kind of game that you can sit back. You don't really need to be that, well, depending on what country you are, but you don't really need to be that aggressive in Victoria 2, and you could still be quite competitive in the game, right? You can actually sit there and your borders might not change the entire game, and you could still get to quite high, right? You might have to do a little bit colonialism, but it's more of a economic and power management game, and I like that. I think that's kind of neat. It's a really cool aspect to it. Like, you can still go around and be expanding your borders like nuts, but you don't have to, right? Here I am checking some crude oil, where I'm getting it. Looks like we're not getting a whole lot of crude oil at all. Because when our new ships that we're building comes out of port, we're going to be sucking back that oil like you wouldn't believe. And that's really one of the big choke points for Japan in World War II, is that it got embargoed by the States, which cut off its oil supply. And it was like, it needed oil, right? It really needed oil to keep going. And it makes sense that we have pretty shitty oil, terrible oil supplies here right now as well. I think I was checking a number of episodes back. The oil in the south, in that area, right, Southeast Asia, and it looks like only I think it was New Guinea or Indonesia or whatever was the only area where it had any oil. Can't remember exactly where it was, but yeah, I think the Netherlands actually was the land that had it. That was the only area that had oil. So we have quite a bit of land, or very limited options in terms of expansion on how to progress to get our oil. I think in this playthrough, I'm going to try and keep as friendly with allies as possible to secure that oil. make sure that that oil keeps going. I think it might be fun to actually go to war with the Axis at some point. We'll see. I don't know. But I want to stay neutral as long as possible. But even if you look at the U.S. industrial capacity and compare it to ours, like our industrial capacity, I believe, let me see, is on par. Yeah, it's on par with the U.S. right now. It's actually slightly higher because we are at war. If we weren't at war, then or if they were at war, then our industrial capacity would be much lower. But since we are quite competitive with them. Oh, I'm just checking to see all the spies that I got going around. Threat. We're at war with them. Okay. We're slowly making it. We almost got Yunnan. And then once we land on that spot, that's the only victory point we need. As soon as we land, then Yunnan is ours. Yunnan. Fuck if I know. Anyways, once it's ours, then we're good. And I think the way it works, at least from my observation, is when you annex a country, its stockpiles of resources get just converted to yours. So if they have oil, they might not, but if they do, there you go. We'll get their oil, we'll get their fuel, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, but yeah, it's looking pretty damn good. That's a nice little chunky yellow up there. And there we go. That's the victory point. So at the next day, it should just convert right there. There we go. Now it's ours. We got Yunnan. So nice, larger chunky yellow. And I'm pretty sure the infrastructure to the south is not high enough for any kind of allied troops to be tromping on over there. So that's kind of nice. We'll bring those troops back to the staging point because we don't need them there. And the other guys will do the dirty business up in Zaibei and Sinking. And yeah, if you look at it, our neutrality isn't dropping at all. Nothing. Blech. But it is what it is. All the submarines are being made. So yeah, it'll be nice when this navy is completely done. Well, we're gonna have a beefy navy when this is all said and done. It's gonna be pretty beefy. Well, we already have a beefy navy, but it's gonna be even more so. And it'll be really fun if we do go to war with allies, just to see. That's one thing about Hearts Iron I've never really done is have a good old fashioned navy battle, like just straight up giant navy versus giant navy. So I think it could be fun to really start hunting some, American navies around. Big old fuck you fleet, right? I think that could be cool. But yeah, that's a nice chunky yellow. I like that. I like that very much. Given our situation, also another thing I think about is maybe going after Portugal. Because Portugal has Macau right there. And if our neutrality drops low enough, going after Portugal could be fun. Because then we could just bunny hop through all their little island chains all over the place. And just boom, there we got a base in Europe by taking out Portugal. And that could be pretty sweet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we actually decide on or how things go. But since, I find that Japan so far has given us the best opportunity to be a serious powerhouse in Hearts of Iron. Like, I've played games as Japan, or sorry, as Germany, as U.S. I haven't played Great Britain, and I haven't played the Soviets. But Germany, you just have too much shit to really worry about. It's mostly like, it depends. Well, last time I played Germany, I played in Black Ice, and it kind of forced you into conflict. It forces you to invade Poland, because the event kind of, it spawns and you invade Poland, and then it puts you at war, right? There's nothing really you can do about it. The game just kind of shoves it on you with the Black Ice mod, and then it forces you into the Blitz against the Soviets, right? And there's nothing really you can do that as well. Barbarossa, right? Excuse me. So it's like Germany, once Barbarossa rolls around, it's almost more survival than being really able to launch any kind of offensive. So you have to push the Soviets back, right? You push them all the way back, and then you finally take them out. Once you take them out, then you can really start focusing on the Allies. But by the time that's done, it starts in I want to say 39 is when the Barbarossa starts, and you're looking at maybe 42. Is it 39 or is it 41 when Barbarossa starts? 39 is when you invade Poland. That's right. 39 is when they invade Poland. 41 is when Barbarossa starts. So 41 it starts. You're looking at like 43. 1943 by the time, maybe, and that's a big maybe. Maybe 43 at the earliest, 45 if you're lucky. Or sorry, 45 if you're taking it slow. So 1945 you're finally done Barbarossa, then you can start focusing on the Allies. So by the time you're done with Great Britain, and then you start focusing on the U.S., right, you're looking at, by the time you're landing on the U.S. shores, you're looking at maybe 1950, right? Maybe. Depends on how quickly you can go through Great Britain. And then you have to go, so, like, it takes a while to take out U.S. Anyways, long story short, is if you're playing as Germany, you're so focused on taking on the Soviets for such a long time that by the time you get to the point of that being done, you have to do a lot of work in a very short amount of time in order to take anything. Thing is, with Japan so far, we've grabbed so much land in such a short amount of time that I wouldn't be surprised if we can just keep on, if our neutrality was dropped low enough, we can just keep on going, right? So, I don't know. I think that Japan actually gives you the opportunity to be like a world conqueror more than most countries. The U.S., you can't even get into the war until Tora Tora, or Pearl Harbor, which is also 41, I believe. So yeah, that's that. Either way, it's I like playing as Japan. So far, Japan has been the most fun because you come right out of the gate, and within the first year, you start getting into fights, right? In comparison to other countries where you're just sitting on your hands for years building. Japan and China tend to be the more fun because you're fighting right away. So, yeah. That's how I view it. Anyways, we're getting close to the end of this recording here. So I think this might be a good time to say goodbye. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. We took out Yunnan. We're working on Zaibei and then Sinkang. It's going to be good. So if you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you like this series thus far and you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Oh, India. No, we won't be able to fight India. Anyways, and I always love you guys' feedback, your comments, and all the things that you have to say. I'm kind of starting to talk slower because the recording is actually going longer than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, remember, like, subscribe, comment. Always subscribe if you haven't already, because why not? It's just a good way to be. And I do want to all the guys who are subscribed and like watching this regularly. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. You're the kind of dudes that keep me doing it, because it's a lot of fun. So big shout out to you, dudes. Thanks a lot. I like your guys' comments. I like the things that you say too. So don't forget to do those. Anyways, I'm gonna end this here. Until next time, Keeves out.